Action.
What's up, guys? Matt Garza here. We're here with Sean Scott from Wizard Wars with Penn and Teller. That's right, he was on Wizard Wars with Penn and Teller, man. That shit is crazy. Sean Scott here on Fremont Street performing, having some of the biggest shows on Fremont. Amazing guy, good friend of mine. Everybody welcome Sean Scott!
Okay, alright. Oh, now that's sympathy applause, really. Like, who the hell is he?
Everyone knows who Sean Scott is, man.
Yeah, I'm just one of the Fremont Street magician guys out there.
Also, want to give a huge shout out to J-Dub Productions, baby! J-Dub Productions. This is the first episode, so we had, Sean volunteer. We had J-Dub Productions volunteer to come out and shoot it. We didn't know what it was going to be like our first time, so we just came out and hung out, grabbed some food, some drinks, some CBD. But long story short, we are so thankful for J-Dub Productions. And to be honest, guys, in Las Vegas, I only use J-Dub Productions to shoot my cinema, my videos, my ads, my photos. He is the only guy I exclusively use. So, if you guys come to Las Vegas, you want to do some photos, you want to do a little bit of video, you want to shoot a little product placement, anything that does with media and video, J-Dub Productions, Javon Williams is your man. Great guy right here. Shout out to him, man. Thank you for coming out and doing this for us.
Appreciate you.
So, yeah, man. Also, some news. Time for the news. Sean, you have any news for them?
No, not really. No, fine. Thanks.
By the way, guys, Sean is a guest, so I don't know who we're gonna have on next time. We might have someone different, or we might have Sean come out later when I get back from Texas. You might be seeing him more often. Who knows? We don't know yet. We don't know. All we know is we're out here having some fun, hanging out. Big news for me is the Pearl Hotel, man. They signed me to have a contract with them to be having my shows out there. So June, July, and August, the Pearl Hotel is gonna host my magic shows out there. So we're gonna have a few different shows out there. You can buy tickets at mattgarza.me. mattgarza.me. I'm gonna buy some tickets, go there. That's my website. Tickets are gonna be on there for different times. Come out to South Padre Island to the beach, get some sun, grab a margarita, come see a magic show, man. That's what it's all about. So, yeah, the Pearl Hotel. I'm excited. Dude, I am just beyond excited. Like, I couldn't stop talking about it last night. So.
Got a gig.
Got a gig, man.
That's good.
Got a gig.
Summer gig.
Summer gig, yep. Gotta get my summer body ready, because right now I got a dad bod, and gotta do some push-ups, man. Gotta do some push-ups.
Push-ups?
Push downs.
Alright, push downs.
I don't know.
Chin-ups, arrow. Pull-ups there.
Alright, man. First off, we're gonna thank Serendipity Cafe Coffee House. They gave us the spot to have our podcast in and to host great people. And so yeah, a huge shout out to them. Serendipity Coffee House, they specialize in snacks and coffee and cafe, but you can add CBD to it. So if you're a CBD fan, you can drop that shit in there, chill out, relax, have a bagel or two. So this is the place to be, man. Serendipity Coffee House. That's right.
So you don't even have to eat. You can just come here and do CBD.
You could. Another thing on the list over here is, that's right, CBDdreams.com, man. That's how you support the channel. We're gonna have a CBD store up. You go and buy CBD from that URL, and support the channel, support us by buying some CBD products. If you don't know what it is, Google CBD. That shit is good for you. Some of it tastes great, and some of the candies, and I am a huge supporter and fan of it. So I love CBD, so check that out. So, welcome to Cinema and Conspiracies, man. The first episode, Cinema Conspiracies. I'm super happy. This is the first episode. Today we're going to talk about 90s movies, and we're going to talk about conspiracy theories. So first off, like, in the news, I want to say about a day ago, Department of Defense, DOD, right? And the Pentagon and a few other big names just are dropping news about UFOs and aliens, about news and facts and historical events, and they're releasing information. So Sean, what do you think about that, man?
Bullshit. So about a year ago, this all came out. Like the Pentagon dropped a whole brick of documents about UFOs, stuff that they had on file, stuff that was going to be somewhat, significant, that the American people needed to hear. But as almost always, the information that comes out is not really what people are interested in. It's surface, it's superficial. So,
but do you think it's real? Do you think it's legit that aliens and UFOs exist, or do you think it's like somebody on mushrooms? Or
if you believe in UFOs or if you don't believe in UFOs, here's the only thing you have to think about, just to boil it down. If only 1/10 of 1% of any of it is true at all, then you kind of got to pay attention to it a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're on this little, ball of planets.
It's kind of all or nothing.
Yeah, in a huge universe. If just 1/10% tells you that there might be somebody else out there other than you, you can't really disregard all your own, you can't disregard the reality of that statement, that fact, yeah.
That's crazy, man. That is crazy. To me, if they keep releasing more news about aliens, extraterrestrials, UFOs, ships, the sky's the limit. My mind is just blown that stuff is going to come out. And like we were talking about earlier, the next step is if you see aliens on your front lawn, right, then...
That's it. That's what we're all waiting on. You're all waiting for that day when you walk out, and you're going to work, and there's this other car parked next to your Chevy Tahoe, and it's round and it has flashing light. That's where you kind of have to oh shit, it happened. I
don't think the aliens want to come down because...
Well, they wouldn't park next to a Chevy Tahoe, that's fucking sure.
Well, no, they saw Will Smith and they were like, no, we can't stay here because he might kick our ass. We saw what happened, so...
Well, yeah, if you're really waiting on the aliens to come down, the first question you have to ask is why haven't they showed it before? That's the big thing. So if that's true, then you have to ask why. Then you have to kind of go into, well, how am I here? What's the story of humanity? How old is civilization? And if anywhere in that it becomes a thought that, hey, maybe we were created. Maybe we are somebody's whatever, the pet, the Japanese robot pet.
Tamagotchi?
Yeah. If that, which to a certain extent, if you were growing a garden in your backyard, the last thing you're gonna do is walk out into the garden and do anything harmful to it to keep it from growing, to stop it. So you would just keep life continuing as it is. And I kind of think there's a certain truth to that. And the fact that if there are various civilizations in the universe who are older than we are by millions, billions of years, and they haven't shown up yet to say, hey, motherfucker, you're not the only ones that live here, then there's a reason. There's a reason for that, right? I mean, it just makes sense. Like,
things would change for us, man.
Yeah.
Things would change drastically if aliens walked on the front lawn and more information came out and it was a casual thing. Like, the whole world would just be so different. Like,
maybe one day, you know, like if you go back in history though, there's stories back in the 50s, 60s of, you know, like nuclear missiles were launched and UFOs actually went up in the air, intercepted them, and kept them from annihilating, keep them from, you know, blowing up, and then that like kept the world from, you know, eating itself. So if aliens are kind of somewhat intercepting, you know, our viciousness to fight each other, if they're stopping that at all to any degree, then okay, you know, like that's something to take into consideration, I guess. But that has happened. There is like some video documentation of like UFO going up and like zapping like a missile like 6 or 7 times, and there are witnesses to prove this. It's a whole other thing.
it's crazy, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next, kids, we're gonna talk about Spider-Man. Holy shit. I was excited to see Spider-Man. I was excited. And by the way, if you haven't seen Spider-Man yet, wait 3 seconds, okay? Because we're gonna spoil the shit out of it in 3, 2, 1. Holy shit, Spider-Man! Okay, we're gonna spoil the shit out of it. Spider-Man was fucking amazing in the fact that we got to see all of our childhood heroes, we got to see all of our childhood villains. They put all of our Spider-Mans in there for every generation. It was like they just gave us everything they wanted. Fan service up the ass.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see 3 different, you know, actors in one movie that were all in the last 20 years.
Yeah, quite a while, man.
Yeah, like
I think I was 8 years old when I first saw Tobey Maguire and stuff. So it was a trip for me to see like Andrew, Tobey, you know, and everyone just come together.
So who was your favorite? Who was your favorite actor? Spider-Man.
I mean, I think they all have their different aspects of acting, but of course Tobey, man, because he was just, you know, it was just nostalgic for me. So I liked Tobey, but all of them were incredible. Like I'm a kid. I'm at heart. I'm easy to please. Like I like everything. I'm just like, give it all to me. But I would have liked to see more storyline. Like I felt like they gave us everything we wanted, all the toys we wanted to play with. They gave us, you know, Doc Ock, and they gave us the Green Goblin, and they gave us all the toys. But I felt like, as far as the story-wise went, I felt a little bit disconnected from the recent, like, you know, the newest Peter Parker and him coming together and his struggle. I felt it was a little bit out there, but yeah, what'd you think?
It was a mashup, but you know, I think that's kind of what people pay to see. You know, like just take all 3. If you even know that all the 3 characters are going to be in the same movie, you're going to go and buy a ticket to see this.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So like, why not?
Well, and they keep making us pay for what we want to see. Like they fucking know that we want to see this shit, and they're just like, we're gonna make these motherfuckers go buy tickets to what they want. Like they're not gonna be able to turn their head away from this. Speaking of Spider-Man, I'm a little bit off subject, but Obi-Wan Kenobi is about to drop next week, and I'm just like, that's another one of those things that they're just like, oh, just take my money. Like, just
it looks good. It looks good.
It's incredible, man. But yeah, Spider-Man is just, it was amazing how like they mixed Doctor Strange too, and then they gave us Doctor Strange trailer at the end. So I was just like, whoa, that's the first time they put a whole trailer at the end of a Marvel movie. Like, they never. I was like, did they make a mistake on this? But it wasn't a mistake. It was just like shit.
No, they want you to show up and watch the movie in the theater.
Right.
That's hard right now. They got to get people back in the theaters. It's just not the same yet, but they got to get you back. But you know what I don't understand? I don't understand. Maybe somebody explain it to me. I don't understand the end of the movie in the new Spider-Man. Like when now everybody forgets again who he is, and I guess the thing was where was it Happy? Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He forgets who he is. So how does this work? Like,
you're saying that he forgets Spider-Man?
He forgets his identity.
Right.
He forgets who he is.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, you were Tony Stark's guy, and you were in all that stuff. You helped, you built, you helped and all.
I'm good because
building the suit. And
the spell is how he forgot,
dated his
right?
mom or whatever, or his grandma or whatever she was.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait, if you forgot all that, then where does that? I don't know. Where does that go now? I don't know. It's.
But like, shouldn't he forget because the spell already? I mean, Doctor Strange is a spell, so like, why wouldn't he forget?
I guess, but then he'd be forgetting
Parts of his life.
Then it's weird because so you worked with this guy who you were helping Tony Stark equip to be Spider-Man, but you can't remember who he was, what he looked like.
Magic.
But, yeah, I can't quite put the lock on that one yet. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah.
This
is coming from magicians, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a magician. Sean Scott's a magician. He's been a good friend of mine for a number of years now. But we recently started hanging out a lot, talking about movies and conspiracies, and this is kind of how it developed a little bit. And yeah, but Happy is just, his character is amazing. Like, in Endgame.
He's like a writer. I mean, he's the guy. He's one of the guys writing this movie.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool about it too. But anyway.
He's just an amazing guy. Like, I mean, this is from Endgame, but they give us fan service when they're like, when Tony died and they tell Morgan in the Endgame, he's like, oh, well, let's go get your dad a cheeseburger at the funeral. And I'm just like, oh, because Tony liked cheeseburgers, like, so it's just, they keep giving us fan service like that, and I think maybe that's why I keep buying tickets too, but I love that shit, man. I'll keep watching it. Is there anything that you didn't like besides the Happy thing? Like,
I honestly I didn't really watch the Spider-Mans where was it not Tom Holland, not Tobey Maguire, the other one.
Andrew Garfield.
I really didn't watch that set of Spider-Man movies. And Jamie Foxx doing this whole Electro character.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. When I was watching the movie, I understood, okay, there's William Dafoe. There's the actor Doc Ock, who is that again? The actor?
I forget his name.
Anyway, he's great, brilliant. And then, was it Thomas C. Howell? Sandman?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All these three guys, like, had a character, had an appearance, had a costume, had something going on.
Right.
What makes Jamie Foxx so fucking cool is that he just like puts on like a silver belt and he's like what? Like did he just like, was that part of his agreement, his script? Like, costume.
When that guy came to tackle Dave Chappelle in the most recent news on stage, Jamie Foxx came out to help him, and Dave Chappelle was like, anytime like you're in trouble, like Jamie Foxx just comes out in a cowboy hat, like it was like Django or. And
Django was good. I love Django.
Huge fan of Jamie Foxx, man.
Yes.
I love him.
Yes. But it just kind of made me feel like Jamie Foxx, I'm not going to be a Spider-Man movie, put on any weird shit. Like that was the line. Oh, all right, whatever, you're Jamie Foxx.
He could just like, I don't know, he could sell sand in the desert though. Like I believe him.
Well, he did Ray. My God, Ray was one of the best freaking movies I've seen. When he did it, I thought flawlessly.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, all the, I guess the Spider-Man stuff was okay. I mean,
the end of Spider-Man.
I guess. I mean, it was,
yeah.
The only thing I didn't like is watching all three Spider-Mans get their ass kicked forever. You know.
Dude, that was my favorite part at the end when they team up and they're just like, I'm not that good. And they're just like, no, you're amazing. You're amazing, Spider-Man. I'm just like, oh, like. Oh, that's so great to see them like together and hanging out, almost like cousins.
My nipples got warm. It is what it is. Yeah, but the period at the end of the sentence, I guess. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I am excited. I purposely have not seen Doctor Strange on purpose, and one reason is because I like to go to the movie theaters with the giant recliners. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if, I go with a friend or go with myself to watch Doctor Strange, I'm basically laying back next to a stranger. And sometimes I turn to the left and I look in their eyes and now I'm just laying with this random stranger. Like,
the movie is called Doctor Strange.
But I don't know if I should ask them for my phone number after or I don't know what to say at the end of looking into their eyes, into a stranger's eyes after laying down those couches. So,
which, even if I've sat next to someone in a movie over the last years of my life, I probably can't remember one instance where I really turned and locked in. Nobody says this.
On the recliners, you do, man. When they recline all the way back, it turns into beds. They turn into beds, bro.
He's from Texas. That's what's going on.
Anyway. Oh, man. Oh, Sean Scott, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Scott. Alright, the end of Spider-Man, real quick. The end of Spider-Man was my favorite part, hands down. Just when you got to see all the villains, and you got to see, Toby fighting, Green Goblin, and he's about to kill him. He's like, no, don't do that. And I'm just like, oh my god, man. They killed Aunt May. They fucked 3 of their lives up, and they're still trying to save them. And I'm just like, that's the coolest thing ever, man. I don't know. It's kind of, knightly in a way,
Okay. Best part was that between the 3 of them, there was only one that actually shot the actual liquid, the webs, out of their body, their biology. The other 2, how do you do that? I have to make my own,
I use chemistry.
Yeah.
I use science.
He's like, I just make it or whatever or something. Yeah. And then I had something to say that you kind of what was it? I forget how it went after that. Yeah, he started to get a little, kind of funny. But yeah.
Dude, I am low key in love with Zendaya. Before when I first saw the first Spider-Mans, I wasn't a fan of hers. I was like, she's kind of not bringing that much to the table. And then, I guess more movies she came in.
Anybody brings more than the table to fucking Kirsten Dunst. Come on.
I didn't say it, ladies and gentlemen. John Scott said it here at Cinema and Conspiracies.
I mean, it was like watching Cardboard. For the first 3 movies. Oh, come on.
She's so beautiful, though.
Until she opens her mouth, I'm like, Peter Parker is the last of this girl? Okay, anyway.
Well, anyway, so Zendaya is an amazing job in the new one, and for me, I couldn't take my eyes off her. Even though she doesn't say too many words, the way she says it, it's just, you're just magnetized to the screen. So anyways, amazing job. Zendaya's coming up, and I think she represents a lot for different communities. Ned was Filipino, and the Filipino aunt, when she came out, the Filipino community of my friends that I've had close, they just went fucking crazy for it. They're like, oh my god, she's speaking Tagalog and there's not even subtitles here. And even the Filipinos, in the movie theater I was in, they were like, yeah! So it was just really refreshing to see different cultures, different people of color, different people of different languages to be on the big screen. I think it makes a big difference for other kids coming up in generations to be like, hey, I can do acting, I can be a magician, I can do this, because they see other peoples of culture, and that's important. We need more of that. So So, for sure. What else? Oh my God, today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Hook next. One of my favorite childhood movies. Must have seen it a million times. I actually told our friend Dante Bosco, I told his mom, you know, when I was little, I used to hop around the couch pretending I was Rufio and pretending I was Peter Pan. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of Hook, man. Super big fanboy.
That's nice.
I hate you.
It was a fun show.
Show, man. It was like Steven Spielberg directed it. And
yeah. Robin Williams doing Hook. Okay, I'm branching out there into, more science fiction-y kinds of
I believe
things.
it was 91.
Was it? Okay.
91, yeah.
I like Dustin Hoffman. I think Hoffman was kind of fun to watch.
He just disappeared as Hook. Like, I couldn't believe he was in Meet the Parents, and like when he was in Hook, he just vanished. Dustin Hoffman was gone, and it was Captain Hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's what I would say. It was a good little departure for him to see him do it.
Incredible. John Williams scored it, and actually, I used the music in my magic show. I use one of the Neverland at the end of my show. I play it, so it's kind of like a callback to my childhood in my show. So yeah, I'm a huge fan. Dante Bosco's Hook did Rufio, which was like, in the early 90s, 2000s, they came out with a band, Rufio. It was like punk rock band, which was iconic, and they would go, Rufio, 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 and they'd start playing concerts.
And was he in it?
No, I don't know if Dante was there. He might have, maybe he showed up to one of the concerts.
So when did the band form?
The band Rufio?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe 1999 or something like that.
So when did the movie come out?
91.
Should there be at least a 10-year kind of space on you could call your band
after a fictional character?
I don't know. You always want to come out with a band name that you could say, oh, we thought about that. We all voted on it. Somebody was just watching Hook one night. He was drunk. Let's call ourselves Rufio.
Copperfield was named after a book.
Well, Well, this is true. Yeah.
And most people don't even know it was after the book David Copperfield.
But it was American literature that was there for several years before he even. Yeah. So.
I see. I hate you.
Create some space.
I hate you.
A little space. Let's put some years there before we, reach back in time and steal a name. Anyway, that's me.
So, two of our colleagues and somewhat known friends are in the movie, Rufio Dante Bosco and Rashawn Hammond. Rashawn Hammond, he is a local magician here in Las Vegas. And he does some pretty cool magic, and he is a pretty cool cat. He does indie films besides Hook now. He's a nice guy. He's come to at least one of my shows, and really cool guy. And he was incredible in Hook, man. He was just a kid then. He must have been 8 years old, 9. Mm-hmm. He was one of the Lost Boys, but to me, the Lost Boys were the movie of Hook. You have to have the Lost Boys versus Hook, or else you don't have Peter Pan and Hook and the battle between good and evil. But yeah, man. To me, that was one of the best '90s movies ever. The cinematography, the picture, the sound, the acting. You had amazing actors. Even I think Julia Roberts was Tinkerbell. Yeah. So
Give her a little role there.
You gave her a little role there. Yeah, that's
tiny woman as opposed to pretty woman.
A little role. Get it?
Little. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. If you hear noise in the back.
Sorry. Okay.
If you hear noise in the background, it's because we are at a coffee shop. So. I probably should have said that at the start of the show, but the ambiance is just coffee shop people in the background. So yeah,
On CBD.
on CBD.
That's why you should come here.
We actually got some CBD in my Topo Chicos here, so yeah. Hook. Do you actually remember anything about Hook, Sean?
I do. Yeah.
No, you don't. I don't believe you.
I do. I was kind of fond of the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Man, I remember like every scene from the start of the kids getting kidnapped to the boat, on the boats when he first finds out who he really is, till all the way down to meeting the Lost Boys and then back to the boat again for the final fight. And yeah, I just love every second of it, man. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Good stuff.
I fucking love that shit, man. My favorite part is when he would be like, roll out the red carpet. And they'd be like, roll out the red carpet! And he'd go, and the red carpet would just fall down the ship, and then he'd walk down.
Yeah, that was a good bit.
Yeah.
So you like the bits more in it? Or
I just love everything. The music, the bits, the little scorpions that they would put in the chest when they would capture someone. They would put them in the little treasure chest, and they'd be like, open up, boo, and throw the scorpions in there. It's like, man, that's some gangster shit. Like, throwing like someone's gonna bring that back. Someone's gonna like, I don't know who's gonna bring that back, but they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we saw that shit in Hook. Let's do that. Scorpions and fucking. Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
America's Got Talent. Yeah.
Scorpions
tradition. Yeah. Scorpions.
Yeah, that was dope. I think I love when Robin Williams is surfing on Rufio's little skateboard thing down the tracks, and everyone's chasing him. That's pretty cool. And all the plants are like sneezing on him and shit, and I'm just like, plants sneezing on someone? Like, where do we see that? Like, probably in one of David Bowie's movies, and that's it. But
like Labyrinth or something, or sounds like a labyrinth. Sounds like taking out of the Asian Labyrinth.
I never finished Labyrinth because I got too freaked out watching it. Like,
it got a little just random.
I think like at the end where she was getting stuck in the maze trying to get through near the very end, and like these weird puppet creatures would come out more often. I was just like, I'm gonna go watch Spiderman or something because this is freaking me out.
I don't think Spiderman was there yet.
No, recently.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah, I tried to go back to Labyrinth and like watch it, and it was tough. But I like the beginning of it. But anyways, that's a different story. I'm not here to talk about Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And next up, ladies and gentlemen, we are gonna talk about the Bermuda fucking Triangle, ladies and gentlemen. The Bermuda Triangle. My question is, Sean, if we know that fucked up shit is happening inside the Bermuda Triangle, right? We know people are disappearing. It's on record. We know ships have been lost. Whole groups of people gone. And even reported time travel spaces, maybe black holes or just weird spots of loops and shit. How come the government has not done anything about it? Like, how come our government or whoever the government, the space has been in between, how come we haven't come together and been like, what the fuck is this and what can we do to figure this out or to stop it?
The government is always going to be the last agency to drag something like that out into the light and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because once again, that changes the compass on everything.
We think if like it was official and they are actually doing something about it, people would go out like fishing there and shit and try to met these stupid people would try to like stick their hand through portals and shit and look for buried treasure.
The stories that I've heard about that, there are some out there, and even some that have to do with like naval vessels and things. So sailors on them, they had things happen. Then later they came out, and even maybe some of them talked in Stephen Greer's kind of acknowledgement, part of his release of that kind of information about the stuff that happened out there. But they're immediately told by the government, "No, you're not going to talk about this."
Right.
Like, no. So yeah, if you're a sailor in our whatever armed forces, and you know the government tells you to shut up about it, you're probably not going to talk about it. You know, you're going to lose whatever identity and your lifetime you put into the service if you go rogue, and let that kind of stuff out. But usually that stuff gets a lid put on it pretty tightly.
It seems like now is a decision turning points of technology and the exposure of incidents like aliens and UFOs, and if this is everything is getting more exposed, then I think things like the Bermuda Triangle may get more exposure to kind of figure out what's going on, what's that space.
There are various areas of the world where there's phenomenon. I mean, we're in Vegas, so if you go roll into Utah, there's a Skinwalker Ranch, and that's
what is
spot.
that?
There's you remember Skinwalker?
No.
Oh my god. So Skinwalker Ranch is a little area in Utah that has been over the years. It was kind of purchased by a family. They moved in. All this crazy stuff started happening, and then after that, there's a millionaire Bigelow who owned. He was a contractor for NASA. And he even ended up buying this ranch and bringing in like people who were in special ops, certain scientists to test, to look at this area, this property. And there was crazy stuff going on.
Crazy, I never knew about that.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other topic.
Skinwalker Ranch almost sounds like Skywalker Ranch.
No, they're not doing any video editing there. So you definitely got to look up that place. There's so much.
Our cameraman
George Nappis, who you want to go might look up on YouTube and him talking about it. He's been like one of the biggest guys.
Our cameraman's trying not to laugh right now.
Yeah, but it's some serious shit, totally. So
it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, I hope more. I'm super interested in the Bermuda Triangle just because there's so many different types of incidents in that one area, like time travel, just people go missing, different people jumping from one place to another, almost like a little portal. There's just so many things there, so it seems like that's a hot spot for just metaphysical activity, Who knows, maybe someone will make a movie about it.
David Copperfield did a TV special about it, but I can't say it was actually credible. But it's also too, it's a pretty remote location out in the water. So if somebody did see something, well, they got to be on the boat. They've got to have a camera.
Now they can send drones out there.
You could, I guess. Your drone will go that far. I don't know that it would.
Bling Empire, ladies and gentlemen. Bling Empire season 2 just came out. And this is definitely totally out there and not on our cinema conspiracy subject, but Bling Empire is a reality TV show that's kind of based on Crazy Rich Asians, and it's just like a dramedy or a drama, and it's just a reality TV show with a bunch of rich people doing crazy shit, and I thought I wasn't gonna like it, and then I watched the whole season in one sitting. And it was pretty cool. Well, I liked it. I thought it was funny. But yeah, it was interesting. Check that out, Bling Empire, man. You might like it. I don't know.
All right.
a little bit off. What else do we got on the list here? Cobra Kai, man. Cobra Kai. Let's tear that apart. 4 seasons, coming out with 5. Cobra Kai, let's talk about it. So what'd you think of the first season?
I started watching it and I didn't want to watch the rest of it. I think I only watched the rest of it because I wanted to see the car accident at the end. Like, I don't know.
I love that shit, man. I love that shit. I think I watched the first season like probably twice over when I first saw it, and I was just.
Why? Because you missed something in the first just.
No, because I liked it so much. I was just like I felt, man, we got to see the character who in Karate Kid just ate like the bully. Just I don't know. They just like pummeled him into the ground at the end with nothing left, which we all were like, yeah, like Daniel beat him, like LaRusso wins, and then like they make us feel for him later that affected his whole life, and just like holy shit, that one incident, like it really had this turn in his life, and now he's gonna try to turn things around like 30 years later, like holy shit. So
yeah, I mean, you want to know what happened to the characters. I guess there's always that, you know, if you watch this in the 80s, you're kind of like, oh, you know, what would happen if this guy was 40, 50, 60 years old and, you know, still doing his karate thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where the series goes. You know, so it's, I mean, in my opinion, it's more about the stories, the characters in the 80s, just the, you know, amount of curiosity you might have about, you know, well, if they had to keep writing, what would have become of them?
Right.
As far as the martial arts angle, it's horrid, but you know, yeah, it's I don't know, like, it's a little disgraceful, even lots of things. Like,
I love it.
As far as the martial arts part,
I think it's like an homage to getting people back into karate schools or old school martial arts, you know, versus like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think it's like an old shout out to like the old 80s where, you know, people would do karate in New York. That was super famous back then when it first came out in like 80s and 70s. And karate was like the thing. And I'm just like, well, now we get to see like a little shout out to it.
It is, but like, haven't we, I mean, I don't want to get all martial arty too much on all this, but like, haven't we, you know, seen enough and that, okay, some martial arts kind of work a little more strategically than others, and you know, like the martial arts you see these kids doing in these shows, you know, beating the shit out of each other in a high school, like in the cafeteria, and all, like this is never what would happen and never what it would look like. Like it's just, you know, it's just like so.
Well, I was a big fan of the Power Rangers kids, so
there you go.
I thoroughly enjoyed all of the karate and all of the everything in there. I just loved it.
Yeah, like Kimmy the Pink Ranger sticker on the back of his.
I did take a picture with the Power Rangers when I was little in Halloween.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. I hate you. I hate you.
I watched it, but I had a younger brother, man, so I kind of had to like watch a little bit to understand what he liked about it. And yeah, you know, and then I think like with Tommy the Green Ranger, he went on to like martial arts fame and things.
I didn't know that.
UFC fighting and all that. Oh yeah, totally.
Does he still play the green flute?
Probably at night, his wife and I don't know, or some kid, I don't know. But like, I appreciate the movie. You know, we're all in the 80s. You know, if you're you know, a kid in the 80s, Jim, not so much, but like, yeah, you grew up watching these and they kind of made you feel empowered. And I got into martial arts probably a little bit because of, you know, that kind of a show. But that movie made you kind of feel, oh yeah, you know, like I can go to high school and maybe not get my ass kicked, you know, by the football team or whoever it was.
Well, martial arts being aside, whether we agree or not, the storyline was magnificently put together from the beginning to the end. It tied Karate Kid, it tied every single person. They brought back the original Cobra Kai teacher, I forgot his name. Kreese, John Kreese, right? Yeah. And what's his famous line? Like, doesn't he have a famous, like he...
No mercy.
Yeah, no mercy or something like that.
Man can't stand, can't fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is what I was sharing with you is now, you know, watching these kinds of shows now, where you look at the character who's the nemesis, you now like the nemesis. You now feel for this person.
Right.
You want this person now to become the underdog.
In my opinion, is that like now that 2022, they need so much content. Is that originally I felt like if it was made in the 90s, they would have ended it at the first or second season. But now, writers and people think about how can we pull more story out of this, and that's where they bring the villain to switch and get the different angles. So now we feel for the villain, he becomes like the good guy, and they're telling us like, hey, maybe there's no good guy or bad guy. Maybe these are just people living in a tough time, or they had tough situations, and they have a story too. And like John Kreese, like everyone we hated him for like the Karate Kid 1, 2, 3. We hated him for like Cobra Kai up to season 1, and then season 2 or 3 when we saw that he was like in Alcoholics Anonymous or whatever, like in a hostel, and he was just messed up his whole life, and we're like, oh, we're sorry, John Kreese. We didn't know you were such like a, we didn't know you were in AA or the 12-step program. Like we didn't know.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah.
So they were really genius about doing that. What else? Man, when they took Daniel to Japan, like, and they like Daniel was reading Mr. Miyagi's notes that he was reading to him. Mr. Miyagi had left him his last words. Holy shit, man! I cried when he read those notes, because I was like,
I remember.
Oh my god, dude! Mr. Miyagi, like his last words to Daniel as a student, and if you've ever had a teacher-student relationship, and that's their last words is a big thing to you. So I was just
what
like,
were they? Do you remember the last words?
Live honorably.
Is that tough?
No, it wasn't. But
right.
It's something along the lines of how he was like a son to him, and how he was so proud of him,
Okay.
And it was just like, wow, it's definitely a tearjerker. And I think it was cool, like when he went back to Japan and you got to see like the martial arts in Japan. Like he met his old nemesis from one of the last movies when he went to Japan. And this nemesis was now like his brother, his martial arts brother, so it was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the story is what's interesting. The martial arts almost kind of contaminates it, honestly, as far as trying to show a valid, really, valid angle on its use. But the story, is fine. It's good. No, it's okay.
I loved it, man. I'm a sucker for it.
I'll watch your webs eating pizza. So.
Season 5, man, is gonna be. I think we're gonna see Hillary Swank.
The swank.
The stank of
swank
factory.
She's gonna clean house. There's gonna be the swank dojo.
Yeah.
She's gonna start her own school because
yeah.
Daniel had to close. So now Swank is just gonna set up shop and like
she's gonna
tear up
stank the Swank
Cobra
up,
Kai.
baby. I think it's gonna
Waiting
be
for Hillary
incredible. Yeah, so I think it's gonna be amazing, man. Like,
she has won Emmys. She can do anything. She's perfect.
The Karate Kid that she was in was like, holy shit, man. Like, when you see her go to the monk temple and the monks are there and she's squishing bugs, and they're like, and they just walk away from her, and she's like, what? What it do? What it do? What it be? And you're just like, come on, Swank, like.
It would have been funny, like, if, like, 30 seconds later she would have wait, stop! Or something. Coughed one up. Here's another one. I don't know. Like, just make her.
Oh my god.
Or scraped it off the ground and did some David Blaine, and then it starts moving again. Like,
it was an old lesson that we all need to know, which is all life is valuable. All life is valuable. And if you didn't learn that from the Swank, you should, because it's a good lesson.
She's swanky. Hilary Swank, she's deep.
I mean, shit, man. Like, I don't know. Cobra Kai is they brought back all the Karate Kids. You know what we didn't? I mean, technically they called it Karate Kid, which was, I think, Jaden Smith.
Yeah,
Who was in it?
Was the next Karate Kid? Is that what it was?
Next Karate Kid?
I don't know.
I don't remember,
But anyway, yeah, Pat Morita was in that one. That's the takeaway.
but no, he.
In China, right?
I mean, it was kung fu. But.
No, it was Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan.
That's why I'm laughing.
Sorry.
That's why I'm laughing. Because you said it sarcastically.
Right.
By the way, kids, I am the biggest Pat Morita fan. Pat Morita, amazing actor. If you've ever seen him, he was from LA. Incredible actor. Did so many amazing flicks. You like just
Happy Days.
Was he? He was in Happy Days, wasn't he?
Ralph. It was Ralph, or I don't know what he was in Happy Days, but.
Man, that's been a minute. Happy Days. But yeah, amazing actor, amazing person. They actually came out with another movie called, I believe it's called like Knowing Pat Morita, or along the titles of that, but it's just a movie about the biography of Pat, and he's just an amazing actor in person. And so, I mean, though Jackie Chan is in the next one, there's a special place in my heart for Pat Morita and Cobra Kai and all of this. That's why I really liked it. But going back to Jackie Chan, yeah, I don't think we're gonna see any hint of Jaden Smith or Jackie Chan or anything in Cobra Kai. But it's possible because it's in the Karate Kid universe, like the Marvel universe, you know.
It would be interesting. They bring Jackie Chan in.
Jackie Chan can make the Doctor Strange circle and appear inside.
You kind of forget, how like the different tributaries of that movie.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of neat.
I just love it when he's always like, I don't want no trouble. You know, he's like, I don't want no trouble. It's like his like famous line. I'm just, man, if he came in Cobra Kai, I was like, I don't want any trouble. I'm just like, oh man, it's the best, you know.
Do you think they might bring in like Will Smith and his kid, and he becomes the bully and just starts smacking people, you know, that say bad shit about his family, and you know, like back to the this film. Yes it is. Will Smith becomes the John Kreese of Hollywood.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
no mercy, don't say it. You know, you just have to teach Will Smith.
Oh my God, this is a good point in the show to tell you guys. And I should have said this at the very beginning of the show. This is a place for opinions, okay? Not for audience opinions, but what we're saying. There is no factual evidence.
All fun and comedy, and none of it is to be taken seriously.
It's all fun, it's all comedy, it's all just to hang out and just talk like a campfire style. So
I do not endorse Will Smith's actions or.
But I just wanted to say that what we're doing here is just for comedy, to talk about movies and to hang out and talk about conspiracy theories that we have opinions on. So we're just here to have fun, hang out, have a few laughs. So if you're here for that, that's what we're here for. We're just two guys hanging out, shooting the shit. So I hope you join us. But anyways, back to what you were saying.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go there.
I want to go back to Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much of it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those things, hopefully. I mean, they'll keep writing seasons because, the kids of the 80s, we're the ones now that pay to watch Netflix, you know.
Right.
So, they'll make stuff that, we want to watch. And that's kind of been the cycle with many other shows, too. That were done 20, 30 years ago, and now they turn into like ongoing seasons of whatever on online streaming. So you watched? Have you seen Halo?
No, I have not seen Halo.
Halo on Paramount Plus. I'm having fun with that right now. That's
yeah,
cool, so.
that's cool, man. I'm trying to catch up on Arrow. Like,
Arrow, there's like, oh, he just brought Arrow into this. Arrow is like a little old, but that's one of my favorites.
well, he got me in there. Like, I did a little bit of Arrow season 1, and then I heard, like, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, I am a huge Kevin Smith fan. Suckle at the teat of Kevin Smith, man. Always a huge fan of Jay and Silent Bob. Actually, I have a small story that when I was about, I want to say, 14 years old, my mom, she's about to retire now, so it doesn't even matter. But she snuck me and my friend, I don't know if I should say who, probably not, I'm not going to say who it was, but snuck me and one of my childhood friends out of high school, called us to the front office and then said we had like a doctor appointment or something, and she took us to see Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back in the movie theater. And
that's pretty cool.
It changed my life forever. That was a pivotal point in my life for, watching Kevin Smith movies, Jay and Silent Bob, Dogma, the list goes on, Jersey Girl, Mallrats, I love it all. So I love, of course, the podcast, Fat Man on Batman, check that podcast out too. But that's how I kind of got the idea to do what I want to do, talk about movies and conspiracy theories, was Kevin Smith, man. He's always doing cool stuff, and so shout out to Kevin. Thank you for being our inspiration, and man. Cobra Kai, back to Cobra Kai. Or we can go, let's talk a little bit about, we go back to Cobra Kai, but let's talk a little bit about government conspiracy theories. Like, this might be a little touchy subject, but I think the, war with Ukraine and everything and Russia, I think that it does affect a little bit of gas prices, but I don't think it should be affecting every single fucking price of inflation, like, everywhere, which the government is always saying, oh, it's like the war, or like, they're kind of using stuff as scapegoats and to not address what the fuck is going on with, like, this crazy inflation, like,
Yeah, I mean, you get in, I don't know, a lot of the market too, it gets valued at speculation on what we think it's going to do, what the future is of companies in the coming year based on what's going on in the world. And I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of little insecurity in the market, and at least that's the current political climate is kind of the reason that some of that is supposed to be.
I think it's Big Brother, man. I think it's Big Brother. I think that Big Brother is setting the stage for something bigger. Like, that's what I think. I know it sounds crazy.
Like, what would that be?
I don't know, but I feel that there is something going on. Like, I just feel Big Brother could be setting the stage to make the middle class not so middle anymore, or of course the rich always gets richer, right? But now I feel like it's drastically getting bigger and bigger, the gap, and I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it's once again, kind of funny to talk about stuff, like this way he's talking about, and we talk about the alien thing, and we talk about how often that gets kind of mocked, that just gets tossed aside, like, oh, it's aliens, it's, if there's anything we can't explain, it's aliens. But you go back to that one thing about if 0.1% of 1% is true on any of this, then can we really cast out conspiracies? Can we really cast out, like, these ideas that, like, these are just ridiculous, like they're like, we laugh them off, like, right. Oh my God, I can't believe anyone would ever think about that. Like, there's balance on both sides of it, and there always will be. But but the next time someone throws a conspiracy theory, before, like, you're automatically, you're grabbing your gun to shoot down. Just wait 5 seconds. Just wait 5 seconds and breathe for a minute and just think, like, well, then say it's bullshit. But at least think about it. The point is just to think, first, because.
Well, maybe it can cause some inspirational awareness to other things that might be going on in the universe around us, like, just this kind of awareness that maybe it sounds crazy, but maybe there is other stuff going on behind the curtain, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's, the Illuminati kind of idea, the idea that, a handful of people kind of, rule the world. I mean, there's a guy on YouTube, his name is Jordan Maxwell, and if you go back and kind of listen to some of the things Jordan Maxwell talks about in regards to into things with religion, it's kind of interesting because he'll actually kind of go back and give the etymology of words and why, and kind of why things are called what they are today.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's okay in high school. Here, it's kind of like the root of a word and what it means. So
it's not edamame.
No, it's not. No, it's not something you eat. But like one thing that he talks about is when people have to go to court of law. Well, it's called court. Why is it called court? It's called court because it has its roots in basketball. It's based in a game where you're playing a game. You're hitting a ball back and forth. And lots of other examples like that. But he just kind of has some videos there to make you think about, something may not be full conspiracy, but there might be a tinge of like, maybe there's a little more to think about. But anyway.
Yeah. So there's some other cool conspiracy theorists out there that specialize in conspiracy theories, like hardcore. I think, in the early 2000s, Alex Jones was cool when he had the radio show out in Austin, Texas, but now he's gone a little bit extreme. I don't think he was that extreme before when I was younger, but now he's extremely extreme. And I don't know, sometimes the show feels like a hoax, like, it's just weird. But anyways, so yes or no on government conspiracy? Do you think inflation and all this is part of Big Brother trying to work up something bigger, or?
You can't rule it out. I mean, the government is not a Fortune 500 company. They have to take into consideration, the larger picture of ruling a large group of people. COVID, if one thing, COVID taught us is that, real quick, the whole idea of the mask, and think about everything that came out of the mask.
It was just the world got
trauma, the psychology, the aspects of that, all the fights online that happened. Oh, wear a mask, I don't wear a mask.
What I hated about COVID too is that that the internet just changed drastically. Like the censorship was just boom, like wow. Like if you didn't notice the censorship before, we all noticed it. The censorship turned on. Like you couldn't say a lot of things. Like you couldn't Google a lot of things. You couldn't. Yeah. It was just all one thing, and it was just it kind of like reminded me of just like I don't know, like a king or something. Like you must obey. No information.
And YouTube and Facebook, they both instituted their own policies about.
Even Reddit, they stopped Reddit stuff.
And there's a pro kind of side to that, and then there's a con side to that, and it's but you gotta learn it for yourself. You gotta make your own kind of choice on what you're okay with someone preventing you from hearing.
The scary thing about that is the censorship is still there. Mm-hmm. There's still it's like the censorship, it never lessened from COVID, and it's still there on a lot more subjects now. I'm just like, that sucks. The internet used to be this more free place of information with different ideas and different theories, and now it's
and we've only had it what for 30 years really, roughly.
I
mean, so it's what else is in the tank? What else is in store? How else will the internet affect this world?
Right.
Because nothing before our current time here in recorded history has done that. So,
especially with cell phones now, like, the other day I lost my bank card, and they were just like, oh, you can just use it on your cell phone. And I'm like, yeah, but can you guys give me a physical card here? Because they used to just give you a temporary. They're like, no, you just use it on your cell phone now. And I'm just like, you can't, like, they're making it to where you can't live without your cell phone. Like, for instance, if you lose your cell phone and they tell you to buy another one, you buy the other one, but they're like, oh, we have to send you a text to your old phone to verify it. And it's like, but I don't have my old phone. So it's like, they're making it everything to where you can't live without it.
Your phone is you. This is another version of you.
Right.
So this is trackable. They can file this. This is,
That's so scary,
This is you in silicon form.
It's crazy.
That's what that is.
Can't live without it anymore. They won't let you live without it. You can only get so far to doing what you want without it. I know people like Aziz Ansari, who's a stand-up comedian. He switched to like an old 90s phone, like the flip phone. I don't know how he survives, but I guess he just finds a way. And
well, yeah, he's probably got money to pay somebody to walk behind whatever.
Hopefully one day we can be like Aziz and get flip phones.
If only would have went that route years ago.
We don't mention his name here.
Well,
we don't mention that man's name here. We actually bleeped it out. We did. You can't even hear it out of his mouth, actually.
He's so funny. He just did something stupid. He shouldn't have done that. Right.
Yeah, man. So, wrap up on Cobra Kai. I just can't stop talking about it because I fucking love Cobra Kai, man. Like, anytime I see the shirt, anytime I see, like, Miyagi-Do shirts, I'm just like, oh, it's going fucking down. They're gonna beat each other up, and then they're gonna have some picnic after and talk about some meditation and core values, and like, that's...
Yeah, I mean, it's just misplaced testosterone, come on. No, but it hasn't, I'm glad you like it. I really had to make myself watch it for a long, just like, and I didn't watch it all in one setting. It just started making me just.
I like the husky dude. The husky dude is like, call me Stingray. I'm Mr. Stingray.
Oh God. Who are these kids too? Like they're not like these kids. Like they're characters, but they just don't exist. I mean, it's just like, who looks like that?
He exists, man. Sholo exists.
Like
Sholo, man. Sholo. That's the actor's name.
And I don't know. I'm just some of the prowess they give to the characters, like Daniel's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, all right, but I'm supposed to believe like she can kick her way out of like,
I believe that shit.
Multiple
I believe she
attackers
can.
and
I believe it.
Like she got like her black belt tomorrow. Like
I believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
Like I don't know if I had to draw one character out of there who I thought actually would like take care of himself in a fight, it was probably the guy who plays Lawrence. Johnny.
We just talked about
like
government,
Johnny,
Big Brother, and aliens. And he believes aliens, but he doesn't believe that the Miyagi-Do daughter can kick some ass. Come on,
there are.
Come on.
Do you know how much documentation there is to extraterrestrial life existence? Do you know how much documentation there is to like Ralph Macchio saving his ass by kicking somebody in the face. 0.
Oh, Ralph, we love you,
Just
Ralph.
saying.
I love you, Ralph.
Yeah.
There's just love here for everyone.
It's a TV show. It's what it is. I mean, hey, I'm being rough on a TV show. I know. I mean, the movie I love. The movie, had its place in our life. Totally, right? Yeah.
I love
so,
it, man.
Yeah.
I'll still probably, when I go to sleep tonight, I'll put on my Cobra Kai pajamas and, do my karate punches in front of the mirror and be like, you want some of this? You talking to me? Are you talking to me? That's probably what I do.
Mm-hmm. Then your mom knocks on the door. Anyway.
Alright, do you remember in Wedding Crashers when Owen Wilson comes to meet the main head honcho of the Wedding Crashers, and it's Will Ferrell, and Will Ferrell goes, You want some beef steak? You want some steak? And he goes, Mom! Get the steak! Mom, you want some beef? Mom, get the steak! Get the steak! Get the beef! That was just the funniest thing, man.
Mm-hmm. I think Will Ferrell has that probably same line in every movie. Yeah, great.
Oh man, that's funny. So Sean went to Area 51. Ladies and gentlemen, he was in the belly of the beast. He was doing some alien shit there. He was calculating numbers. He was doing math, which he usually doesn't do. All types of crazy ass shit, Sean. Tell us about Area 51.
No, I drove out to Area 51 in Rachel, Nevada.
Area 51.
Yeah. But it takes you about a 2-hour drive out of Vegas to get there. By the time you get there, every bug that you've known to the real world is sticking to your car.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Because you're driving through.
It's the radiation, right? The bugs have radiation from the Area 51.
I guess they'd be bigger.
And they're just
yeah. But anyway, so you finally get out there, and there's just this little, it's kind of a weird little area with these maybe little houses, shelters kind of sprinkled out to the side of the road, and then at the end of it, there's the restaurant, the Alien Inn, and it has a few trailers near it that it rents out, kind of, for overnights.
Just the Alien Inn?
Yeah, it's called the Little Alien Inn. That's what it's called. And you go in there and you have an alien burger. It's kind of a greasy spoon kind of menu, but it was good. You go in, you buy some.
What was the burger made out of? Aliens?
They had a lot of cattle around there, so my chances are good that I got something with 4 legs.
Was it green?
No, not green. You go there just for the mecca part of it. You make the
So how far can you go in?
So we went in the back gate. You can go up to the back gate or the front gate.
Sean likes going in the back gate, huh?
No. That's the door. You're talking about the door. There's a gate and a door. 2 different things. One is solid, the other one you can kind of see through it. You're like, no, I don't want to go there.
You're gonna get a different fan base now, Sean.
No, I'm being technically correct here. Be careful too. So anyway, the thing is though,
Sean is married, by the way, so
he's
taken.
I'm for the most part, yes. Married. Thanks. Married, getting killed. So you can drive up, that to that back entrance, and you have to go. There's a road, maybe it's about 10-ish miles, something like that, 10 to 12-ish miles. And it's all dirt road, so you're all this gravel flips up at your car, and you get to the end of it, and you can kind of see, the area where you can't pass. What was weird though, probably about 6 or 7 miles into it, and I'm going slow because the car I've got, I do not want to get it banged up and shit, right? So all of a sudden from nowhere, this guy like a full-size pickup truck pulling a trailer of something I couldn't tell what was on it, just comes blasting like around us, like we were standing still.
Fucking aliens.
I don't know, man.
Inside the trailer.
Wherever he was hauling, like, I don't know, he's done this trip like several times or something because he wasn't slowing down or anything. And the road is like kind of there's a dirt road, but then it turns into pavement at some point. But there are holes in this road, like not like old like holes like out of a road in Indiana, like in big like monster truck holes or anything. But still, like you don't want to hit these with your car.
Right.
And this guy was just blasting like through, like he was just flying, man. He just went around me like I was standing still. Still don't know what was there, but I mean, he went right in. But anyway, but yeah, I just kind of stood there for sat there for a minute.
So you get to see it like bunkers, like from the outside, or
no? The rumors on all this was on Area 51 is all this stuff that stuff that they kind of kept, that was secret stuff was below ground, like the large elevators. There's all kinds of great stories. If you ever look up a guy on YouTube named David Adair, and he has a whole awesome story about going there when he was younger and crawling on an alien spacecraft. It's like freaking awesome.
If you just YouTube, like you actually see people that come to Vegas trying to climb over some small mountain that looks over to Area 51.
Mount Peekaboo, I think is what it's called. That's another area. You have to hike to it. Yeah, you have to hike to it, and then you can kind of see down on the base, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, we didn't do any of that. We just did the main.
But you see like a lot of videos of people just filming crazy fucking like crafts coming out from the bunker or wherever Area 51 is. Those like little airport kind of like ports. It almost looks like a hangar.
I haven't seen anything like that. Like videos you're talking about.
But you see like people going there at night trying to go over, and as much as they can because they know they close it off.
Some people have too much time on their hands for sure.
Yeah.
Like there's airplanes and helicopters fly around Nellis at night, and okay, it looks interesting in the skies, but there's a guy I like on YouTube. It's called a channel called UFO Seekers. And he goes out and he's got good night gear and he looks up into the skies and he's pretty good at picking out.
How many shout outs are you gonna do, Sean?
No, I'm not even like I
watch this fucking channel.
I don't even know these people. I don't even like I haven't even donated to them. I hate to say that. I'm gonna have to start doing it now because it's not cool now. But I want people to go to the channel. I want you to frequent their videos that they're dropping. But I'm only talking about the people I really like and I really believe in. I think they're worth your time and just aren't saying shit to say things. But like, the UFO seeker guy, I like the way he approaches it. He's not a big alien guy. He's pretty matter of fact. I think he was also actually a former magician too. Years ago. But
do you know him?
No. But he does a good job on it. You gotta watch a few of his live casts. I think you maybe get that sense too.
So, Area 51, like, did you go there just for the journey or to the experience, or?
I just went to say that I did it.
Yeah.
I know that I kind of know some of the history and the stories from out there, and I just wanted to go and just kind of stand.
Did you feel like it had a presence out there, or like you feel a vibe from it?
I think really the best experience from that place. Maybe you'd want to go out there at night and maybe camp. If that's in a travel trailer or a tent somewhere, there's a lot of government land around there, so you can legally do it.
Yeah. And
then stargaze, and like that might be the whole better, personal enrichment, way to do it. And I'd still like to go back and do that.
That's cool, man. That's really cool.
And then the crazy thing is, though, you go on some of the roads, you got to deal with what called the camo guys. They're the security for the base, basically, but they run around kind of outside of it. So they'll spy on you, like they will watch you go like around the roads.
So let me get this straight: camel toe guys. Camel toe guys are watching you.
Camo.
Oh, camo.
Camo.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. For an alien conspiracist, he knows like remarkably little about Area 51.
Maybe I'm just here for the movies.
Obviously. Hook, one movie, Cobra Kai. Hook is a movie, Cobra Kai is a TV series, but
Back to the camel toe guys.
Yeah, back to the camel toe guys. So, so there's some videos on YouTube, people actually getting into conflicts with them, and it doesn't end too well. Because they, if you cross certain areas,
they come out to get you.
You're theirs. Like legally, they can put cuffs on you, but you have to pass those points. You have there's warnings and all that where you're not supposed to go.
So do you believe that? Because I believe that from the videos that you can see and publicly from Area 51, you can see a lot of Area 51 developing craft and testing out new craft that they have. So I believe that they probably do have different crafts there that maybe are even inspired by alien technology, but do you believe that there are aliens inside the actual government facility there?
Not right now these days. I don't know. Who knows?
Right.
If they're still there.
Like Independence Day, where they have like 6 of them and they're all like frozen cryogenically.
It could be. So Independence Day was kind of based on kind of the same kind of idea with all that and the location.
Yeah.
As far as the testing experimental aircraft out there, I don't know if they're really doing too much of that. I think that's something that's moved off to another area, I've heard. It's actually, I think Area 51 is actually owned or kind of operated by might be Edmonds Air Force Base in California.
Crazy.
So years ago they kind of, because it used to be kind of all like CIA or whatever operated or something like that, and then it got flipped over to the Air Force, because it just seemed too much like a conflict of interest. So they gave
So would you suggest to our viewers, if they were in Las Vegas while on vacation, that it would be worth it for them to make the trip out to Area 51, or do you think that
if you have an interest in it and you want to say you did it, and then yes. If you're going out there to see something or to be really highly entertained, no.
Interesting. Well, you heard it, folks. Cinema and conspiracies. Hey! What's your line? You have a line yet?
I'm zen.
Okay. Cinema and conspiracies. Hey! Cinema and conspiracies, baby. It was fun while it lasted. We got to talk with Sean Scott on conspiracies, on movies. Hopefully a few movies, 1 or 2 movies that you liked. Hopefully a few conspiracy theories that you thought were interesting. And I hope you guys just came and had a good laugh and just hung out and had a good time. So I'm Matt Garza.
Sean Scott.
And we'll see you guys in a few weeks.